Hey everybody, three, two, one. Hey everybody, it's Lawrence, and I want to welcome you to this very nerdy, geeky thing that I call the Safer Sex Elevator Speech. We all need to have this speech. We all need to be able to be fluent in this speech because this speech alone will create safe sex for safer sex, and it will also create safety so you can feel more safe and vulnerable in having sex and connecting with another human. So here's the safer sex elevator speech. Why this is important? Because look, if you can do these things in real life, it will make a huge difference. Just learn them, apply them, put them to work for you. I'm going to tell you how to do it in a moment because when you are able to do it and do it in the moment, it's going to change the way you relate to people. And what's important about this is that if you are able to share and communicate what your needs are, you will be able to have more depth and more intimacy and more love and connection in your life. So if you want to be connected with people and you want more depth and you don't want to feel lonely, then what I would suggest is you begin practicing the safer sex elevator speech. I'm going to be looking at my phone because I always use notes and I love notes and I carry this with me, and the phone can come with you too. And so I use this. So the step one of the safer sex elevator speech is latest test results. I personally, being a sex educator, I like to test at least every 6 months, generally 3 months, but certainly every 6 months. That's number one. I'm going to test for gonorrhea, chlamydia, HIV, syphilis, any other thing that it's possible to test for. I'll do a major blood work once a year, and then I'll do kind of the standard tests once every 6 months or once every 3 months. You can do these tests all over the place. Go online to research a clinic near you where you can get blood work. Most of the time, you can remain completely anonymous, but it's a great way to just get into the habit of testing. I personally don't like to remain anonymous because I want to make sure that my results are available just in case anybody wants to see them. Some of the services that are used, they actually live online for the period of time that they're valid. So there's what's great about this and why this is so important is because it gets you into the mindset of being open, honest, and direct, and also aware of your sexuality and your sexual health. So number one, test results, last test results, and what was the outcome of those. For me, I tested negative for all the tests that I took. Awesome. So next one, relationships, agreements, and boundaries. What are your relationship agreements and boundaries? Are you currently in a relationship? Are you in an open relationship, a poly relationship, a monogamous relationship? Like what are the agreements that you currently have in place? Number three, what are your safer sex protocols? In other words, are you somebody who's like, wow, I'm really, really afraid and uptight. I want gloves. I want dental dams. I want condoms. Certainly, if you're going to do any kind of penetrative sex, please use condoms, both for the birth control piece and also because just do. By using condoms, we like cut down on so many issues. So just get into the habit of using condoms. And if you're a dude who's like, I don't like using condoms, I will have another video for you that I will post, but please use condoms. Number three, what do you need so what do you need wrapped? No glove, no love. If you need, hand gloves, whatever. Dental dams, you can use a piece of saran wrap and just be like, blah, 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 right? There's a lot of fun that you can do. You can through saran, there's lots of fun to have and still have people feel totally safe. So whatever your personal needs are, know what they are, and also find out what the needs are of your potential partner. Let's see. Are you, for example, if you're really geeky about this and you're a black belt in playing with sex, or even if you're a green belt or brown belt, if you're in an open relationship, you want to let somebody know if you are fluid bonded with another partner. And fluid bonded means that you're sharing deep, intimate fluids, you're sharing sperm or you know, fluids with one person, and maybe you're non-condom with that one primary person. But again, you want to communicate about all of those things. Number 5, what kinds of touch do you like? I personally love soft, gentle, energetic touch. The more gentle and like from the heart and from the sex center, like from your sexuality and your pleasure that you can flow to me, the better. Like that just is an awesome thing. What I'm into personally, I personally am into expanding pleasure, exploring new things, using our voices to communicate in an adult manner. That turns me on. Vulnerability turns me on. Openness turns me on. I love those kinds of things. The types of touch I don't like hard, grabby touch. I don't like, you know, squeezy, not my thing. So that's number 7. So what are we, just to go back again, 4, you know, if you're fluid bonded with a partner, talk about that. Number 5, the types of touch you like. Number 6, what are you into? Number 7, the types of things I'm not into, because I need to have what I'm not into, just so that person doesn't like accidentally, you know, pull out a knife and go, hey, I'm into blood play, or I'm into, that might be too extreme, X that, you know, just to be able to talk about the types of play that you don't want. Number 8, this is key because this is the pivot point. Once I've gone through my steps, I want to gauge the person I'm speaking to, so I will turn around and be, you know, well, this is what I like and this is where I'm at. What about you? And this gives me a gauge. If they stare at me like a deer in headlights, that probably is not going to be somebody I play with, because it wouldn't make sense, because, you know, if they're not testing, or if they're afraid to test, or if they look at me like, what are you talking about? Just for me, I'm not interested in that. I want to play with playmates who are, you know, into cultivating pleasure and having fun and exploring and expanding and just feeling good in their bodies. So if I can have an adult conversation with them and they can communicate and use their voice back to communicate their needs and wants and desires, I already know we're moving into a great place. Now, this is the thing. One little caveat to this, if you're really wanting to get to know somebody, and this is sort of an addendum to the elevator speech, I may ask, what were your last 3 breakups like? What were your last 3 breakups like? Because that'll give you some idea if this person is all about like blah, 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 or, you know, that person did this to me, and blame, 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 and shame. Probably not somebody you want to play with. Whereas if somebody's like, oh no, you know, we get along and here's what happened and here's why, and you're able to have like adult conversations and they're interesting and engaging and articulate, well, now you know you have a playmate. So the beautiful thing about the Safer Sex elevator speech is it sorts people out right away. Number 2, it lets people know that you're being conscious about what your needs and wants and desires are, and using your voice is key to experiencing greater and greater amounts of pleasure and freedom in your body. And finally, it lets you know, it's like a filter. It's like this beautiful filter to filter out the people who you don't want to play with, which are as important as the people that you do. So for me, I will err on the side. I will just, like, if I have any kind of question, I'm just going to be like, nah, probably we shouldn't do this. This may not be a good idea. But if I'm a yes and we've had good conversation, I'm like, perfect. This could be a beautiful thing. Safer sex protocols are in place, and there's no questions, and everybody realizes like we are playing on an adult field, and we're pulling ourselves out of that, you know, little scared 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old that most people are having sex at, where they're stuck back, you know, when there was so much fear and shame and guilt. And so a lot of people are still having sex in that way. So use these tools to break those patterns and have more and more of the sex that you want and you desire. Until the next time, this is Lawrence. Thanks so much for joining me for the sexy elevator speech, Safer Sex. And just know that this is the best tool that you can possibly cultivate. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks for joining me.